See if I get low enough for this one. I've rearranged my stuff a little bit, and I need to get right down low. Right. So forgiveness, forgiving people. It's like so all you do is you just send love to the other person, and you realise that it wasn't their fault and it was all subconscious. Sorry, no, no, because I'm responsible for my healing. I'm not fucking responsible for what they did. And this goes for everyone, not just me. I'm not responsible for what they fucking did. They're fucking responsible for what they fucking did. Yes, they are. And if they've got any pain to do with that, that's their fucking business, mate. None of mine. The only person that can heal me from my hurts is me. The only person that can heal them from their hurts is them. Take them out of the fucking equation, mate. Take them out of the fucking equation, and I will tell you why. Because forgiveness, there's a beautiful, beautiful phrase on forgiveness. I think it was written by Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, who's written a lot of things. Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous. And Unknown, they've written a hell of a lot of shit. But it just said, forgiving is not forgetting, it's letting go of the hurt. That's what it is. And, you know, it's something you see all over the internet. It's like, once you get to a place where the memory no longer haunts you, then you've moved on. Absolutely fucking correct. You don't force yourself to move on by trying to love someone who was despicable to you. Like I keep saying, there is a process to a lot of this stuff. And, you know, I have forgiven people who wronged me just by thinking, yeah, but that's them. And I've compared myself to them sometimes and just thought, you know, I've done shitty things. I've done selfish things. Doesn't mean I need to be fucking, like, forever held accountable and blah, blah, blah. And it's worked for me. It's worked for me. There's friends that I've almost fallen out with. And then use that sort of process of just being kind and forgiving and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, sending love to other people who've wronged you. Yeah. But that's not forgiveness. It's one of those fucking vague words. It's basically the way children use it, isn't it? Forgiving someone is saying, that's all right to do that to me. Which is, you know, when you've come from a cycle of abuse, it's like that's what you've been doing all the time, is making it okay for them. So then I don't see why forgiving them involves making it okay for them. It wasn't okay. You need to fucking stress that point, because there is a part of you that was betrayed by them. There is a part of you that was fucking utterly hurt by them. There was a part of you that wanted to trust them and was supposed to trust them and felt like trusting them. And they were fucking shit. And that part of you is going to keep fucking hurting until you fucking listen to it. Process the pain before you do anything else. All of the other shit around forgiveness is just fucking fast food nonsense that people just fucking spout out because they want the interaction over as quickly as possible. Like, they made the point in Friends when Monica, I don't know who she was talking to, but she ends up going, toe the line, do the right thing, or whatever. She just comes out with 3 or 4 fucking generic phrases, and that's what fucking people are getting like with the whole forgiveness flex. You ain't getting it right. Job 1, acknowledge your own fucking pain. Feelings exist. They fucking do. They're not perceptions, they're energies. And the more you try and doubt the energy of something, what you do is you use your subconscious like a fucking junk trunk. And let's remember, your subconscious is a dick. It's a fucking dick. It can't be trusted. Seriously. And what do we always do? We shove it down there and then live up in the fucking clouds pretending that we're all right. It's a load of bullshit. There's so many things that you're just supposed to feel better because you've done the process. And it doesn't fucking work. And the reason it doesn't fucking work is because you can't affirm anything with 100% of you, because there's that part of you that's still fucking hurting. So think of it like this. Sometimes you wake up and you just open the curtains. And it might well be a sunny day. For me, it would usually be a sunny day because I love the sun. But there's just something different about this day. There's something about the smells in the air, the energy of the day, There's something just magical and nice and and you skippity around and la-di-da. You don't question it, do you? You don't go, but why? Why am I feeling this happy? What has happened to make me this happy? Yet you do when you feel like shit. What the fuck? What's going on? Why do I feel like this? So anyway, on this particular lovely day when you're bouncing and skipping around, later on that day, it's just kind of gone. Because you accepted it for what it was. You didn't challenge it, you just let it be. And thus, the same applies for all feelings. I said in one of my videos about the grief cycle, and it should be called the feeling cycle. All right, you don't have things like denial and stuff. So it's maybe not. But the principle of the grief cycle is thus. You allow it to be, and each stage comes as it comes, and it is finite. It concludes. It completes itself. It's what people call letting go. What people call, clearing stuck energies. Whatever the process is. But then that's where the healing occurs. Is when you've allowed that feeling to just fucking process. You allow it to be. And it's very simple to do when it's a positive feeling, because it's just nice and easy on those days when you wake up and you suddenly feel like really energetic, and your breakfast tastes better than normal, and the shower just feels the perfect temperature and all that sort of shit. And you just handle it because it's nice. You don't question it. So that was a bit of an analogy for basically all feelings. If you allow them to be, don't question them, that's how you process them. But what we do with pain, because we don't fucking like it, is we try and reprogram it. We try and tell it to go away. We try and pretend it didn't happen. We try and convince someone that it was a perception. Stop doing that to people. It's fucking bullying. End of. Don't tell them it's a perception. Whatever anyone is experiencing is real to them. And don't tell them that either, because that's patronising. Literally take it at face fucking value. They're hurting because they're hurting. Don't tell them that they're hurting in their own way, and everyone's got their own way of hurting, because you're basically still saying you're oversensitive, you're taking this to heart too much, this is all your fault. And there's too much of that when people have been abused about saying it's your fault. Like, yeah, I've been through a lot of this stuff, like I say, and I totally get how when someone does walk all over you and you don't challenge them because you're scared of them or whatever, you're basically giving them permission to do it again. You establish a contract. You've always been the person who says yes. You've always been the submissive one or whatever. So you establish a contract. Yeah, and there's an element to that. But like the way society makes you feel is like if you've been bullied and fucking abused, it's all your fucking fault. And if you're still hurting about it, that's your own fucking fault as well. Come and join us in the land of pretend it's not happening or pretend it is happening, and just pretend you're having a nice life like the rest of us, and we'll all call you a fucking hero. We'll all go on about how fucking much of a legend you are because of the shit you've been through, and you're still smiling. You're not actually fucking dealing with anything, mate. You're not dealing with anything. Well, you're not if you're me. Maybe that's why I've taken steps back 1, 2, 3 from society. I don't know. But that's my thoughts on it. It's like you can do all of the shit about basically justifying their abuse. That's what it comes across as. That's how it's like put across by people who don't fully understand it. It's just something they've fucking read somewhere a lot of the time. Just forgive the other person. Just send them love. It's like you're not fucking ready to. You're not ready to. It's like being at the, don't climb Everest by saying just be at the top. There's a process before any of this shit can fucking happen. And being humans, like we are, when we learn something, we learn it methodically. The next time we do it, and then we go. I know that. It's because your subconscious is a dick that happens. By the way, I can't wait to make that video. But so we fast food the fucking lot of this stuff, and I'm not saying a lot of it's wrong. I think it's wrongly applied. It's wrongly dispensed to people, and it's making people fucking hate themselves even more, even though they won't fucking tell you about it. So forgiveness, like, really does start with yourself. It really does start with yourself. And starting to just, one of the kindest things you can do is acknowledge your pain, speak to that little inner child. Your inner child basically becomes your subconscious anyway. When you're a baby, you don't give a fuck if mum's busy. You cry like fuck because you want some milk, or you cry like fuck because you've shat your pants, and you don't give a fuck who knows it. That's when you're living exactly and completely in the moment. You allow your feelings to happen, they process. The baby's screaming its head off 1 minute, half an hour later they're playing with toys and going blah, 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 and having a laugh. Because they just move on. And that's like, that's kind of a form of perfection that we lose because of all our complicated shit. But we do need to just, allow that fucking inner child to speak. And just let it fucking be. Don't be scared of being angry about it. Because, like a lot of people say, so you're angry, nothing's happening right now. What's happening in this room right now? So you're sad, what's happening in this room right now? Fine, so use that process then. But allow that fucking bit of you that got hurt, that got betrayed, that got let down, that got repeatedly fucking used, whatever it fucking was that you went through, allow that bit to be fucking angry. Don't let society tell you, oh, you're just carrying anger, you've not moved on. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Automatically clunk, clink, that's what I fucking do. I can't do that with my feelings, and so many of us can't. And so many of us convince ourselves that we can and go living in some weird fucking airy-fairy life. That's not for me either. It's got to be real, it's got to be authentic, it's got to be genuine. But just, forgiveness is letting go of your pain. Fundamentally, that's what it is. It doesn't have to involve the other person. It can be part of a forgiving process. But don't force yourself to try and be nice to someone who was fucking awful to you and should have known fucking better. And, don't let strangers who weren't there say, it was all subconscious. Or any of that shit. Allow your own pain to be. Allow all your feelings to be. And that's when you learn to process them. That's my view anyway.